Hello and welcome to another edition of Motor Capital. This is the I-75 bridge over the Rouge River, and I'm doing a little reconnaissance here. I'm trying to figure out a good spot where I can catch the holiday train as it goes over the Rouge River. And there's 3 rail bridges, but it's going to go over this one. I've scouted this out, and I know the route of this holiday train, so that's where I parked. This is Foreman Park that I'm in, and it's right adjacent here to the I-75 bridge, along with many industrial companies and boats that service the Rouge plant will come up and down the Rouge River. So these rail bridges have to raise up to allow those boats through. Now this train is not going to take the rail bridge. It's looping around and it's going to stay on the south side of the river. And there was some natural vegetation. I had a little bridge here that somebody had put together. So anyways, yeah, I'm big into the holiday train, and so I'm checking this all out. Here's some advertising, and I like the shapes here. Well, bridges are cool. You get those architectural shapes. There was a little love message there. That's between the north and the south lanes, looking straight up. Well, maybe this is looking straight up right here. See just a little gap between the two. All right, that train is way off in the distance, but this is the rail bridge. But you don't want to get too close to the train. Sometimes from a distance is better. And off here we got these funnel shapes. I'm not exactly quite sure what they do. There's a lot of heavy industry in this part of Detroit. Yes, let's take a look at the map. This will help out. All right, there's I-75, and highlighted with the Sharpie in the yellow is the train tracks. And what am I pointing here? I have no idea what I'm pointing at. But yeah, this is looking south I-75. And they got a Christmas wreath up, so they got the decorations. They're ready for the holidays. And this, some people would say Southwest Detroit, but this is actually Delray, an old Hungarian neighborhood. There's the Giant Tire. My good friend Steve Fry has a website, I believe gianttire.info. Check that out, and it's on Facebook also. This is the Cape Canaveral, but it's the Marathon plant. And I like the masonry brick there. This is on Flora Street, but you don't see that too often, that kind of design. All right, well, I wanted to see, hey, okay, here's I-75. I'm thinking, okay, I can see the cars and trucks as they go across the bridge. And here's that rail bridge. It's got that big counterweight, too. It'd be fun, actually, to watch it when it does raise up and a big boat comes by. Big boats could dock here. Use the yellow bollards. I'm not familiar with that term, bollards. But yeah, these funnel shapes I like. Across the way, Detroit Asphalt, and they're using the Old English D. So Marathon certainly has a big presence. And south of the Rouge River is, well, you could say that's Southwest Detroit, but I'd like to think of it as South Detroit. I'm not a big Journey fan, but they have a song about born and raised in South Detroit, so I would say anything south of the Rouge River would be our South Detroit. Look at the counterweight here. This is for the Fort Street Bridge, new and improved. And we're going to check the time here, 5:02 p.m. Oh yeah, we are in sync. And so they tell people, I guess they have at least 2 silos there. And so, yeah, this was the day before Thanksgiving. And I wanted to check it out. And I'm thinking this might be a good spot because I could watch the train from afar cross the bridge, the rail bridge from here, and crossing the river. I'm thinking it's going to look cool crossing water like this. So I'm thinking, you know, this is not a bad spot right here on the Fort Street Bridge, and this is a new and improved bridge. They have good lighting, good railing, and good crossing guards here. I don't know if that's all like maintenance or office space or mechanicals. What's all that about up there? But here's some storage tanks, and Fort Street is M85. And it veers off to the left here, and then Oakwood Boulevard continues past Cape Canaveral. You would think you could have a space shuttle launch off there, but that's part of the Marathon Refinery. And maybe we get cheap gas because we got a refinery. This area, they cleared out most of the homes, bought the people out, a few holdouts, and they got some heavy artillery here. They had said they're going to have like phase 2, which is like a park. And maybe they're going to go through with that and make a little nature preserve. All right, there's one of a Diamond Queen. And the boats that go up and down the Detroit River during the summer months will dock here in the off season. We have a few tugboats also. Here it's quite an apparatus here for the gear mechanism, but it's always fun looking at these larger than life engineering feats. But all right, well, I'm going to take another look here. We got a few flamethrowers. I think of that Jay Giles song. But you would think putting a big Pyrex thing and heat the water, you could get, you know, just heating it up with all that flame. Create some, you don't need your water heaters. You could heat water for a lot of people with that. Anyways, here's a closer look at these funnels. I came back on another day, the following day, and I just wasn't quite sure where I'm going to watch this. But I am fascinated with the bridges, so I-75 at night. This is extremely dangerous, so yep, you got to stay off the rail bridge. But sometimes being too close to the train, you don't get the perspective anyways. So I opted, and the holiday train will be next week's show. This is just kind of like a preview. Here's some pipelines that go over and allow enough clearance for the boats to go by. So these pipelines, instead of digging a tunnel, they loop it up and over like that. Warrior Strong. And the Delray Junction, this is a big junction for a lot of the rail lines, and they should almost have a visitor area where people can just kind of like sit and watch, because if you're a train aficionado, you know about this area. I know Anthony is well aware of the Delray Junction, but here there's a big fine, 4 years and a big fine if you trespass. So I'm going to stay on the right side of the fence here, but there's a lot of industrial art involved, certainly with the refinery. I figured I was in the area, we'll take a look. But yeah, it almost looks like you could launch a spacecraft too. We have train action.
On our Facebook page.
There's the second bridge thing for the Ambassador Bridge. If they ever decide to build it, they at least got the approach up and ready there. But I'm actually later in the program, near the end, I'll probably have time to take a look at the Gordie Howe Bridge from the Windsor side. But here, again, I'm going to go back and we're going to check out for this holiday train situation. The train is going to go under the Detroit River. It's going to take this Detroit River Tunnel. And it'll be on the left side here. And it's going to come up right behind the Michigan Central Depot, which Ford is doing the renovation on, Ford Motor Company. So we have to work with Ford Motor and tell them, hey, listen, you have to have a stop for the holiday train. Have them park behind here and let people check it out, that kind of thing. It would be a big promotion for them. People love the holidays and so forth. And why not? We could do it. Off in the distance, you see the proximity here to the Ambassador Bridge. Here we go, Detroit River Tunnel. It's actually spelled out for you there, which is kind of nice. There used to be Border Patrol post 9/11. There would be a car parked out here, and 24/7 they would be doing surveillance. Now they have cameras, and they warn you. Somebody told me once, way back in the day, they walked through the tunnel to Windsor, but that would have been daring. But nowadays, I wouldn't do that, certainly with the cameras. The one on the left was heightened or made taller such that it could handle the double wide containers. You can take the stairs down, and if this gate was open, I could actually go down to the tracks, but it was locked up. So this is as far as I can go. Kind of feel like in a prison. They only use the one here on the right now. You can see the shiny rails. The one on the left, no use, but they like those double height stackable containers. There's the beacon. It shoots that light up in the sky. That's Beacon Park. Here, 1909. So it's been around for over 100 years, if my math is correct. Jeez, Pete, like 110 maybe. Crap, get the calculator out. But, here's the shiny tracks here on this side. So that's how you can kind of tell if it's been used. That was the gate, and then the stairs would go down. But I'm thinking, oh, yeah, this will be great to watch the train come up out of here. But if you watch next week's show, the Border Patrol and the customs agent, all those guys were onto it, so couldn't get that close. So I'll watch it from this bridge up here. And then off behind there is the depot. We've had a few windy days lately. This Honeybee Market, and they're proud to be American and Mexican. I like the wire grating. You can see Mexican Village off in the distance. And here's my Ford Focus. Yeah, we need to get Ford to focus on the holiday train and how they can tie in with that. Maybe when pigs fly, right? We'll see. We'll see. I'm going to work on that. All right. Now we're going to go to the meat and the potatoes of the show. This is Thursday, November 28th, Turkey Day. But this is the football bridge. There's two big footballs on either end, and then the three mini footballs in the middle. It's just showing that nice bridge. Okay, the parade is going to go down Main Street, Detroit, southeasterly, and start in the Midtown area. This is Captain America, I think, and St. Elmo's Fire. But this is they're queued up for the parade. I'm catching this at the start of the parade. The idea is I'm going to start at the start line and then walk down to the finish line. And then, as luck would have it, I got to walk back to the start line. So that's going to be the route that I'm going to do today. But the parade floats and the balloons and all that, everything's queued up. And the parade has actually already started. I was here a few minutes late. I wanted to catch it when it was ready to kick off. But it started like at 8:45. Woodward is the official start point. So I'm here at 9:05, so like 20 minutes after the start. But the Detroit Institute of Arts, and yeah, we have to think about Detroit, and we've gotten a lot better with it, which is great. Oh yeah, across the way, knowledge is power. Who can argue that point? That's the Detroit Public Library. But you see some stands are already set up here, and there'll be stands along the whole length of the parade. But that's kind of like the start there. Nice band going, and yeah, people are going to be in awe. This is a great Detroit event, to be sure. We had the Eye in the Sky. This is like the family-friendly thing. When you see parents have their kids on their shoulders and all that, it's you know, the young kids, the middle kids, and the adult kids, everybody can have a good time. Look at Shields. I'm going to talk a little bit about urban planning, too, because Woodward Avenue, Main Street, Detroit, is certainly important in Detroit's rebirth. But along with the other thoroughfares, Grand River, Gratiot, Jefferson, Michigan Avenue, we have to continue working. It was cold, so a lot of the youngsters certainly bundled up. Wayne State University is huge for the city of Detroit. Oh, here are these guys again. That was like the Detroit City Band. They were energetic. Here, well, there's a lot of nice churches along the way. I stepped inside just to take a peek. This is a church that will participate in Noel Night, and they usually have some nice concerts and so forth. Noel Night will be December 7th this year, 2019. A lot of these buildings, it's great. I'd like to show these people up in the buildings because they certainly have a nice bird's eye view of the parade. And in years past, you didn't see much of that, but as more and more of Woodward Avenue gets redeveloped or repurposed, more and more people have those nice, warm, and cozy views up above. But, yeah, to really get the full flavor and have all five senses working for you, you have to be ground level, I think. This is kind of, some eccentric must own this property. There was a lot of crazy things inside here, and maybe they have tours. It's locked up now, but I want to find out what the story is with that place. That was just off of Woodward there. Look at this, the thing here for the water department. That's a nice sewer grate. Detroit basketball, and they're not actually doing that good either, but none of the sports teams are. Tigers were in last place. The Red Wings have the fewest points, so they might end up with the number one pick. The Lions, well, regular Lions, and basketball's not lighting it up either, so yeah. We got to look at other things other than sports in the city of Detroit to hang our hat on right now. All right, the Majestic Theater, they have a new marquee here. I'm kind of close to it, but I'll get a view from the other side when I make my way back. Here are some nice hats with lights, and we'll see the turkey hats in a little bit too. There's different variations of that. But anyways, I'm walking in a southeasterly direction down Woodward Avenue, and I'm kind of following the parade, so I'm not here. While you get a look at the youngsters and the family, there's just a whole, it went the whole spectrum of ages, from toddlers and well, even babies up to the seniors. Here, this was on top of the building before, but this was driving the hammer into the nail kind of thing, and it was a good deal that they preserved that. And that's a bar restaurant. I have not patronized that place, but that's nice. Hamburgers, yes, that sounds good. All right, well, they had a transformer here, and There was some concern with the wind. It was a little bit maybe higher than normal. Not like they had to deal with in New York. But, yeah, the crowd loves it when they do the spinorama. All right, this is Orchestra Hall. Yeah, there's people, even in the parking deck here. They were all over the place. And that was good to see. And then I like the way they do this with the ladders, and you put some boards in between. People get creative. They've done this for a while, but, yeah, it's kind of a tradition thing. Here's the tunnel that the holiday train will go under. And then it's going to follow those tracks, and then I actually show the wrong... I'm following this tracks. There's actually 3 rail tracks that will cross the Rouge River, or River Rouge, if you like. We have a city there, River Rouge. And, they got a great football team, River Rouge. Holy Toledo. When I found out they won the championship in Division III, I was like, yes! All right, another band.
Haley, who is this? Haley, what's the back of their jacket say? Is it Wesleyan? I
don't know. Talking about that urban planning. Yeah, urban planning everybody can get involved with, most definitely. And no one idea necessarily has to be correct or whatever. There could be a consensus opinion on what we need to do, but we've gotten better in Detroit as far as the urban planning. Things are looking up. I think, a lot of people have been talking about Detroit's rebirth, and then there's other people say, hey, we've never gone anywhere. We've always been cool and hip, and we have. But now we're just getting rediscovered. And I think a lot of it is the millennials. These people are cooking breakfast here, so they even maybe that's not so much breakfast, that's to warm you up. But, yeah, it's quite the experience, certainly, the way different people do their traditional Thanksgiving parade thing. And it's a dog-friendly event, definitely. That was a big deal. So Woodward Avenue, it's Main Street, Detroit. Here they're like the broken window or open window or no window theory. There's certainly still some work that needs to be done on Woodward Avenue. Here are a bunch of clowns.
Look, we got us a lead!
And they were handing out the goods. Those beads are a hot commodity. There's one of those turkey hats. We'll see some more. Look at these door hinges. I love these ornate hinges. That's on a church. Here, talking about urban planning. What are we going to do with this nice big grassy lot right here? Adjacent to Main Street, Detroit. And across the street from This Is New, the Mike Ilitch School of Business. And there's even people taking advantage of that place to get a nice view. Popcorn for 5 cents. I should have taken them up on that. But look at the eats there. And then, oh yeah, what's under this barbecue thing? I like this little thing. Oh yeah, I was tempted. I'll be back for dinner. Now, here you got a split median in the middle of Woodward. Look at the Little Caesars Arena here. This is a new addition, to be sure. So the Red Wings and the Pistons play here. Happy Thanksgiving, Detroit. I like the hat. And photo op with the dog. And there's Elmo again. And then I'm not sure what the building in the background. Yeah, I haven't figured that one out yet. And photo op people, certainly with the cell phones now, This youngster probably had too many beads and wanted to get rid of them. These lighted things. Oh, and then I got hungry, so I did get a hot dog. I don't know if the hot dog is too healthy necessarily, but I do brush my teeth on occasion. But who knows? Before too long, it'll be dentures, right? I'm getting older. That's no fun, folks. Yeah, stay young while you can. Okay, 10:23. Well, in just over 2 hours, they'll be playing football at Ford Field. So I'm in the Brush Park neighborhood, and here's some historic homes, and some of these might be Airbnb or bed and breakfast. I'm not sure. The Tigers play over there at Comerica Park. Here we have different parking rates, and wow, up to $50. Are you kidding me? To park your car? I will walk a country mile before I spend $50. This place is fairly new, though. It opened up in September. Now this is a wall. Well, the defense wasn't a wall. The Lions lost to Chicago on Turkey Day. When the Pistons played at Cobo Arena, that's an old pennant. This is the first time I've been inside this place, and I like the artwork. But looking out the window, you have a nice view of the GM Global headquarters. And I was able to catch live the Channel 4 broadcast, and they do a fabulous job covering the parade. And the Detroit Parade Company does a great job running the parade. And then you got all the volunteers and the like. Okay, it was 39 degrees. Look at this. Art is everywhere, even in the window. Beautiful building. All right, off in the distance, the Michigan Central Depot. I'm crossing I-75 here. Amazon is delivering all your holiday gifts for you. Oh, geez. But, okay, here's the entrance to Ford Field. You see some of those turkeys walking through up to security. They had a few events out here where some fans, here this young lady.
S. O'Hara from DetroitLions.com. This is Lions Radio.
WJR carries the game live. But it was another turkey of a game, certainly for Lions fans. Thankfully, I didn't have to watch any of it. But some, there were, hang on.
You're serving the devil. Your idolatry, your unbelief, God is slow to anger.
A little religion even in there. But yeah, fans were making their way to the game, and that's a great tradition, too, for Detroit to have the football game. Stop in the Name of Love statue. I love this. But because of the colder months here, it's down. But back to the parade. Hey, Rosie the Riveter. Go, women power. I think women are going to be the force that's going to drive the 21st century. It is their time. And I think women have figured it out, that they're on par with men, and they have the ability. Here are nice murals, so you can, it's a photo op there if you want. If you look up, you'll see like lion things on a lot of buildings, but getting into the shopping district of Woodward Avenue, the lower Woodward, which was hustling and bustling in years gone by, and now it's getting rediscovered. These pooper scoopers were big fan favorites. It was funny listening to them encourage them on. Yeah, a lot of cute dogs. I like this building here. So we'll look at. You see the people up there. So there's some of these are lofts, and people are inhabiting these places. You know, Quicken Loans has a lot of offices downtown, and these millennials want to live where the action is. They're probably quite pricey, but those jobs pay well. So, yeah, there's a youngster doing a little dance. She's having a good time. I don't know. That might have been Santa Claus there or an imposter. I don't know. Here, Hudson site. So they are doing some work here. Here's an attractive building. Now, here's the hole in the ground for the Hudson site. So they haven't built up yet. They have a ramp going down to below grade there. But, yeah. And here's Abe Lincoln. He was stolen at one time. Let man be free. Yeah, he was free, but they brought him back. Citizen Yoga. Here's a few new businesses. A salad place. This is a parking deck. Can you believe that? What a nice design. And the detour. I love taking the detour any chance I can get. Rhonda Walker and her sidekick. Channel 4 is doing the coverage. So this is a classic moment here. The parents did. Look at this. Second bite, and that would be the little bit that people would get a kick out of. But yeah, what a cute kid. I love Detroit. Yes, I'm hooked. I'm sold on it. With me, part of it started with that Hitsville, USA, the Motown Museum. I love that music. Check out that big lion. But the Lions that play football for Detroit aren't that prominent or whatnot. They don't have that roar. We used to call them the Pontiac Pussycats. And, they're kind of, well, they say they still play hard. They're still trying. They haven't given up. But maybe they should, so they get the better draft pick. Yeah. They've been known to spoil their chances by winning meaningless games at the end of the season and not getting the better draft pick. I'd throw in the towel now. You need draft picks. Good ones. Yes, bands rock. Definitely. Here's the Guardian building. Here's certainly an artwork. Detroit is known for its architecture. Maybe not as much as New York or Chicago, but here, look at this. It said, don't open till Christmas. These are always a mainstay in the parade, the circus clowns, or the fire department clowns. I'm at the end of the parade now, but then they have like a tunnel of Breeze that you can go through here, and this is in the median of Woodward Avenue, and I'm in the lower part now. I'm certainly just south of Campus Martius. Okay, this is the highlight of the parade. Santa Claus has arrived, and just before 12, I think the football game started at 12:30, but yeah, for the TV coverage and the like, they had to get Santa in before noon, so they timed this out pretty good. Yeah, it's the parade company. Now, Santa got the key to the city, and that means he can deliver gifts to all the good boys and girls in the metro area, which is great. And he might do part of that with the holiday train, too. There he is, proudly displaying the key. Oh, yeah, people were excited to see Santa in town, as I was too. I've been a good boy all year long, and I expect to be properly compensated. Well, here on Channel 4, and they did a great job. Here, you don't really see that sign too much, but yeah, they got the queue line running up and down, so it's a little hazardous if you have a bike. Okay, well, Santa's gonna... This is the end of the parade. I walk back down to the end, and he's going to take the Diamond and Pearls limousine ride back to the North Pole, apparently. And quite a crowd here. And I'm trying to catch him as he... And I wanted to get my list into him. There's some swingers, and then off Santa goes. Blah. I have my Chicago Bears gloves on. I went to a Bears-Lions game a couple years back, and that was a free promotion, but they're nice thin gloves. They work out great, but I did have my Lions hat on, but that didn't help at all. Here, the Spirit of Detroit. I like this gold figurine there with the family and the youngster. Detroit will rise from the ashes. And oh, some more swingers. Santa's elves. Who knew? All right, well, a little fist bump with the Detroit fist. It's a pretty heavy thing. It's hard to move that thing, but I'm strong like bull, so not a problem. Welcome to Detroit. Yes, indeed. We need to welcome like visitors and people from out of town, tourists and the like, and so they can spend money in our city and just drop boatloads of money. Those tourism dollars are just terrific. Just ask like Florida. They love your tourist dollars. Or New York or LA, but we need to grab some of that action. But, yeah, you can have fun in the city of Detroit, certainly. The downtown area's got it going on. If you like to party, especially. And we have enough events, and we're all about the music, and we're starting to have that good food stuff and all that. Here the Ambassador Bridge, and it's easy to see the trucks as they traverse the bridge. A little later in the show, we'll see the start for... the Gordie Howe Bridge, which will be south here of the Ambassador. But, yeah, I walked all the way down to the river. Here, I like the Indian with the canoe. This is, as a youngster, I remember this statue when the parents would take us downtown to Cobo Hall at the time. Spirit of Transportation. So there's the history there. It used to be Cobo Center. Well, before that, even Cobo Hall. Now the TCF Center. And here, this is like a Zamboni, but for floors. And that probably puts a nice sheen or a nice wax job. Here, Joe Louis, the sculpture, and this is well done. The Penobscot building, the building with the cherry on top, and I like the style of the building. And gosh, look at that, we're in sync. We have a little parallax there, but all right, the Detroit Foundation Hotel, a repurposed fire station. How cool is this? They have a nice bar restaurant. That's a Lion, right? So they had the 3-bay thing. Yeah, the hotel up top. Here, Picasso had Cubism, but Detroit has Cubism too. Here, the Detroit Club. This is the club where King Kwame used to do his dining, and then he would stiff them with the tab. Clever. But I guess it's open to the public now, is my feeling here. So, yeah, I have to check that out. This hotel, the Fort Shelby, is that another Lion there? Lions all over the place. Hotel Fort Shelby. I like that. So this was a repurposed building too. It's been up for a few years. Just across the street, here's Channel 4, WDIV, of the big 3 media that we have in Detroit, 2, 4, and 7. Only Channel 4 has their main offices downtown. I think Channel 7 has a small studio off or just on Woodward, but they tore this building down behind the Hotel Fort Shelby so they could have more parking. There was some dispute over this. I don't know if they're going to put a parking deck or if it'll be just surface parking. They upped the ante. Parking up here on the TCF Center roof is $15. The last I remember, it was $10. Here, though, an update on Joe Louis Arena, which is being torn down. So this is what's left here, the steel infrastructure up top. And, boy, you can see across to Windsor without that, the facade. Joe Louis Arena was never a fabulous or architecturally spectacular building, to be sure. It never lended itself or gave credence to the actual river it was next to. They could have opened up a few windows so you could look outside, but it was just a box warehouse is basically what it was. So they might have a hotel or put a hotel here. They were supposed to do that. Now maybe it's up in the air. Or they could expand the convention center, which isn't a bad idea either. But certainly a hotel to service the conventioneers is not a bad idea at all either. That was part of the bankruptcy thing that they went through. They had to make some concessions. Off in the distance, the Michigan Central Depot. If you like used and rare books, the King Place is good. Albert Kahn designed a lot of things, but look at this. It doesn't even look like it would be a parking garage, but yeah, that great architect, Albert Kahn. You can get there from here. You have access to all the freeways. Look at just the detail here. You don't need to do this anymore. This is just, look at this, a Howard substation. This is for Detroit Edison. They just don't make buildings look attractive like that. Sometimes it's just, here's the City of Detroit flag. Everything's now about functionality and to hell with design. Here's Detroit Public Safety, and I'm not sure if I care for that green and so forth. I'm going to have to switch tapes. We reached the end of that one, and I just have a few minutes to round out. Well, I still have some from Turkey Day, but I'll have a little footage from Windsor. All right, second tape's in, press play. All right, MGM Grand. Here's another Lion. And thankfully, I was not monitoring or watching or listening or nothing. I didn't see anything about the Lions game. And I'm glad I didn't waste any time with that. That's just too depressing. Here, look at the masonry work. I love the brickwork on that building there, and there's great examples all through the city of Detroit with great masonry work. Here are these scooters. That's a big to-do. That just came up within the last year or two. Okay, Beacon Park. This is where that light shines up, and it's NASA searchlights. That big beacon that shoots the light up into the sky. There's like 25 to 30 of these beam lights, and that creates that beam straight up into the sky. Here are the castle. It's actually the Guard Building. Great Army of the Republic, I think is what it stands for. Ford Field off in the distance, so it's game on at this point. Some nice landscaping. Look at here, parking $30, but I'm just going to pan kitty corner to the other side here, and it's $10. Oh my gosh, that would hurt me if I paid $30 and look across the street at $10. Ilitch owns these buildings here, and I'm not really a big fan of Ilitch, to be honest with you, because I think they've been sitting on their properties. Plus, the city gave them an enormous chunk of the city with properties, and instead of developing them, they're going to have other people develop, but they're going to make money off of everything. And then they have this stupid name, the District Detroit. I'm down with that. That's terrible. I mean, I'm like really down. Look at this building, a parking lot. Talking about parking, this is butt ugly, this whole parking deck. It is butt ugly. Just that concrete facade, that is horrible. At least they can have somebody put murals up there. But the Hotel Eddystone, at least they're repurposing that. And this building here, I think it was $4.5 million. It might be down to $4 million. I don't know what the latest is, but it adjoins the Little Caesars Arena property, and it's not that big of a deal, but they want a ton of money for it. So we'll see what it ends up, what they get out of it. The Masonic down the way, Hotel Americana on the corner, Temple Bar. They have easy bike lockup, Charlotte Lounge, the Detroit Shipping Company here, if you know your Roman numerals, but the Burton School, and now it is the Burton Theater. Look at this. Dogs are big in Detroit. This place has expanded. They have a place here, K9 to 5, for the grooming. And this was the original spot here. They have the Man in the City up top there. We're going to see a few of those here. Instead of taking Woodward Avenue, I was taking the Cass Avenue up a little bit. Instead of District Detroit, call it Lower Cass and Middle Cass. It looks like a turkey walking up Woodward Avenue. Yes, it is. The #1 turkey. But Woodward Avenue's all quiet now. The parade's all said and done. The traffic lights are back up, and the traffic's along Woodward Avenue. They did a great job after the parade to get things up and running again. Here's a nice glass place here, and that's near Orchestra Hall. And the 3 smokestacks. I love this industrial art in the Midtown area. This has been a few years open, the Strathmore. And then they have a Pure Detroit shop. And then that's Garden Bowl is supposed to be the oldest bowling alley. Look again, the Man in the City. It's the eye in the sky. It's kind of like Santa Claus. He knows if you're doing good or bad or whatnot. Here I can see the marquee from across the street, Majestic Theater. That's new. Urban Robin, we have one of those. It started in L.A. I like this mural here, and I like what the message is. If it takes heart to fight for something that so many consider a lost cause, you know, the metaphor could be Detroit. It could be even your own personal situation or whatever. I was dating a girl at one time, a Baptist, and I asked her I asked her what her mom thought of me, and she thought I was a lost cause. It was all a religious thing, and that certainly took me back a little bit to hear that. But yeah, I've been called a lost cause just because I didn't become a Baptist or whatever. But yeah, I think people should be free to believe whatever religion they want to. Anyways, we have a few churches along the way. Rosie, part of Detroit history. Look at these hinges. I love that. There's some great examples certainly throughout Detroit. Warrior Strong and Wayne State. You can't say enough about how much they've meant for the Midtown area. They have industry, intelligence, integrity, and they've been around since 1868. And look at these concrete reliefs. They just don't put the attention to detail anymore like this, like they did back in the day. Okay, Noel Night, a pre-promotion here, Saturday, December 7th. This is a free event, and it's huge, and it's fun, and it's well done. It's like a Norman Rockwell Detroit thing, like version number 2. This parade was awesome, but we do a good job with Noel Night, or all the volunteers that do that and all the venues. It just keeps growing and growing. Here I opened up the map. They even have a shuttle, and it goes actually clockwise like this around. But look at all the venues. It's just amazing. It's well done, and people have a great time. There he is again, the man in the city. It's high in the sky. You can't get away with nothing. Somebody's watching. We got some beavers here. Now look, Detroit River, and here we're talking about the major thoroughfares. And Main Street, Detroit, is Woodward Avenue, which runs north-south. But that's Michigan Avenue. Here we got Grand Circus Park. So that's Woodward Avenue going straight up the gut. Straight up the middle. You got to be strong up the middle. That was Grand River. That was Gratiot. Yes. It worked with baseball. You had to be strong up the middle. We had Lance Parrish as catcher, Jack Morris as pitcher. You had Lou Whitaker at second. Wasabi, Alan Trammell at short, and Chet Lemon in center field. Yes, and we won the World Series. That's the last time we won. We're due. We're due. These buildings have been repurposed. Here's looking back down Woodward Avenue. So I had to walk all the way back to where I parked. That's where I parked for free because that's what my budget will allow for. I-94 runs along there, so I'm going to loop back around. These are new, these housings, but I like these old school ones better. These are sweet. I love these. But then I'm going to, born in Detroit, and I was, years ago in 1960. Here, for Thanksgiving, I wanted to I was hungry, all that running or walking. But here's some steers, and they're fenced in a cage. We need to maybe have free the steers. But they're pulling a cart behind them. But I decided I'm going to patronize Telway Hamburgers on Turkey Day. So I didn't have turkey. I had some hamburgers. If you buy 4 by the sack, you get a deal. They were like $3.85 plus tax. And there's a look at one of them. There you go.
Bon appetit.
Oh, yeah. Happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, I think I said bon appetit. Yes, indeed. All right. Now, this was Saturday, the day of the holiday train, so I'm going to have about 6 minutes here. It's $5 U.S. to cross the bridge. We're just going to start this, but the majority of the holiday train will be next week's show. But I'm going to go across the bridge here, and I'm going to meet my cousin Diana and my, her husband. His name is Norm. I don't know if that's cousin-in-law or something officially, but anyways, they live in Windsor, so I'm going to visit them, have a short visit, And we'll check out the holiday train, too. So this is the neighborhood. They just recently bought a house, and Windsor is all the rage. The market is going good out here in Windsor. A lot of people from Toronto are looking for affordable living, people that want to retire and so forth. Toronto's expensive. Windsor is affordable, so the market has gone up. So good for them. I think Norm said there are up around 260,000 people. Okay, we're scouting out first the location where the holiday train is going to pull in. And they have some barricades set up, so we're figuring, okay, the train's going to pull in here. And so we're going to, just got the lay of the land here. They have some nice murals. This was the barn. The Windsor Spitfires used to play there. But here, the Detroit River from the Windsor perspective. And you have a nice, they have a nice park along Riverside Drive here. I think they even call it Riverfront Park. There's the GM Global headquarters downtown. But then they have a nice Casino Windsor, Caesars. And they have a great auditorium for concerts and the like. And we're in Canada, C-A-N-A-D-A. So Riverside Drive, Willette Avenue, Main Street, Windsor. And they have Chrysler Canada headquarters right there at the foot of their Main Street in Riverside. You can see Joe Louis across the way, what's left of it. They have a lot of nice art sculptures along Riverside. This is part of the river that the marathon runners will do in that international marathon. We're going to enter historic Sandwich, and they have an informational place, which I'm going to have to stop by, for the Gordie Howe Bridge. Bridging North America, Windsor, or the province of Ontario, has taken the lead role in working on this bridge and putting the money up for it. And they'll collect the tolls and so forth. But, off in the distance, a freighter is going by. Norm is doing the driving, and I just wanted to check out how the progress of the bridge was going on the Windsor side. And it's going to be a 5-year project, so they're just doing site preparation work now and getting ready. But they're doing the pilings, the caissons. I guess they're going to drill like 12 of these pylons. I'm going to have some video. Norm gave me the website, ctv.ca or whatever, and they've already run stories of some of the work that they're doing here. And so I'll show you these videos. But I'm a little kid at heart. I love seeing how this all plays out and these huge projects take effect. But what's going to be nice is this Gordie Howe Bridge is going to have easy access to the 401 and the EC Expressway, which is their east-west expressway that crosses town. So it's a great deal. The trucks will be moved off the center of town and free up that space so you don't have all these trucks. So they have a lot of heavy artillery out here. They were not actually working here on this particular Saturday. I don't know. They don't really celebrate the Thanksgiving weekend like we do. They have Brighton Beach, a big energy company. And here we go, Zug Island. They're real touchy. If you Google Zug Island, they say they don't want people to take photographs within 100 feet of Zug Island. But I'm across the river, so well over 100 feet. Here we see cranes. So this is the site preparation on the U.S. side. That's where the pilings will be for the main tower of the bridge. And then it's in between that silo there. And then it'll come across, not here, but just north of this power plant. And we can kind of see, you can see one crane out there. So I don't have the best view. Folks, I'm getting near the top of the hour, kind of getting in the middle of this portion of the show, but I'll continue this on the next episode. So thanks for watching. Good night, everybody. Happy holidays.